All right, you guys, we are live and we are going. So welcome to this training. I'm really excited to go over some marketing training with you guys. I know that we're used to sales training, but I thought we would shake it up and talk a little bit about leads and how to specifically generate more leads than you can handle as a business owner. So that's the specific topic that we're going to be training on today, that we're going to be covering and ultimately helping you apply these principles into your business or as a closer into your sales process to be able to have more leads to close as you move into the future. With that being said, you guys, before we dive in too deep, I do want to introduce myself to anyone who might be new to this group or who may not know who I am or what I do just yet. My name is Jaden Johnson, and I'm the CEO and founder of Sales Secrets, and I'm actually a mental programmer for sales professionals, business owners, and entrepreneurs like yourself. My job is to help you sell more by leveraging psychological-based sales strategies, as well as mastering the programs within your mind. So that's a big picture of what I do here at Sales Secrets and how I help individuals. But like I mentioned, today we're going to be talking about leads. How do we generate leads? How do we generate more leads that we can actually handle? And how does that process actually work moving forward into your business? Now, before we dive into the presentation that I prepared and the training that I have for us today, I do want to take a moment to do some housekeeping. And if you're not used to this live training setting, I'm going to let you guys know what I typically like to do before we get started. The first thing that I typically ask and will continue to ask in the future is I love it when individuals will comment on my live and let me know if you're watching the replay or if you're watching live. So all you have to do is comment down below this video, put hashtag live if you're watching live, or put hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. That helps me know what times are best to train at. Do I need to shift the training schedule and go at a completely different time besides noon on Thursdays in the afternoon? So that's the first thing that I would ask from you to do for me right now. The second thing is help this video get out to more people. And the way that Facebook basically operates is by giving people the algorithm. So how that works is you have to hit that heart button, you have to hit that like button in the bottom right-hand corner. And what that does is it boosts that algorithm, and it's going to help this video get out to more individuals just like yourself who might benefit from this training. So once you guys do that, we can go ahead and jump into today's training, which, like I mentioned, is going to be covering specifically how to generate more leads, more high quality leads for your business than you can actually handle or fulfill on. Now, specifically what I want to go over in this training so you guys know what to expect. Number one is I want to talk about how to create real urgency and real scarcity in your marketing. When you're able to do this as a business owner, you go from a position where you're chasing everybody and you're chasing leads, where now your leads are chasing you. And eventually you can even get to the point where you have a wait list where you could be able to hit up anybody at any time on that wait list to jump into your program and to start using your product or service, and you're not at the mercy of the market anymore, but the market is at the mercy of you, and basically you've created a demand from your product or service. So we're going to talk about that and how to start creating that right now in your business so that you can have real urgency and real scarcity moving forward. The next thing that we're going to discuss is the 4 ways to generate leads and the 4 ways to multiply your leads. So really, I'm going to be going over a framework that's from the book $100 Million Leads by Alex Hormozi. If you haven't read that book, it's one of the best big picture strategy books when it comes to marketing. And I definitely recommend that you use it because companies that I've worked with personally, the companies that actually use this framework and use all 4 methods that I discuss, and then also all 4 multipliers that we'll go into, they never struggle with leads. They never have the issue of trying to scale their company or getting consistent sales because they always have more than enough leads to actually move forward and to scale from where they are to where they want to go. So that's what we're going to discuss today. And then of course, I'm going to give you some action steps that you can apply moving forward to actually get to work and put into practice what we discussed today. So the first thing that we need to discuss is how to create real urgency and scarcity in your marketing. This actually is less of a problem when it comes to like your marketing and messaging, and it actually has more to do with your offer. And this is what I found from my experience of working with, now I think it's over 47 different business owners and different companies coming in and teaching them psychological based sales strategies and marketing strategies. This is the one thing that I typically start with. After we go through your client avatar, then we dive into your offer. And when it comes to your offer, what I typically see is the problem is business owners want to skip to the end iteration of their offer too quickly. So what I mean by that is they don't test offers to figure out what resonates best with their market, but then they also go to the very last iteration of what that offer should look like. And I'll explain what that looks like and kind of how I would go about this process in a way where you can actually create real urgency and scarcity by fixing your offer and marketing and messaging that to your audience. So the solution for this is you need to go back to the first and the second stages of offer development. And if you've never heard of that before, I'm actually going to teach you and share with you exactly where that came from. So this is actually something I learned 8 years ago when I first got into the online business space. I bought a course called consulting.com by Sam Ovens. And he was one of my first mentors that I learned from and actually started building a business from. At that time, I was just selling website design and designing websites for business owners or gym owners. And really in his training, one of the things that he talked about was the evolution of an offer and how the right evolution, or the one that's going to maximize your profit margins and minimize the risk as you scale, is by going through the following stages. In stage one, you do what's called a done for you offer. And with a done for you offer, it's highly limited because you are actually doing the work for your prospect or your client. So rather than having them do all the work, you're actually saying, hey, if I offer to do this work for you, would you pay me this amount? And that is the first iteration of your offer. So if you've never done a done for you offer and you're struggling to generate leads, I'd recommend you go back to the beginning and work on this first stage of your offer. And there's a few reasons why. Number one is it's actually going to allow you to limit how many individuals you can work with and how much time you actually have. So for me, right now in my offer, that's where I'm at. I'm working with individuals and I can only handle roughly 3 to 4 new clients per month when it comes to sales training and diving in, whether a business owner who wants to build out a sales process or you're an experienced closer who wants to work on your skill set. Either way, like I only have so much time to give. And so I'm able to limit that offer. And that is a done for you offer. Well, what that does is now as you communicate that offer and you're testing it out, one, you haven't gone through the process of creating a whole bunch of courses, of putting together like this crazy fulfillment when you don't even know if it's what your prospects are looking for just yet. So that's going to solve that problem. Is it's going to allow you to get offers out there quickly because most of the work is done after you're hired and you actually do the work for your prospect or your client. And that's why I would start with that one. The second reason why I start with that one is it allows you to highly limit how many clients you can take on to drive that urgency and scarcity. So instead of saying, hey, I can take on, 20, 25 clients at the second stage of an offer, which is where I typically see people at, you're now saying like, I can only help 1 to 2 people this month. Who's interested, who would like to learn more? And that's going to help you actually start and generate leads for your business because now people know spots are going to be going quickly. They need to get information quickly if they want to move forward in their business or in the particular problem that you solve as a business owner. Stage 2 is a done with you offer. Okay. This isn't as limited, but it still is limited because there's going to be about 50-50. They're doing about 50% of the work. You're doing about 50% of the work. And it's less of a, like you're going in and doing it for them. It's more of a show them how to do it, give them the tools, give them the resources, and you're checking their work and making sure they do the work as they go. That's the second iteration of your offer. And I wouldn't move to this iteration or move to this stage until you've completed that first stage and have done a done for you offer and have had some success there. The last and the final stage is to do the do-it-yourself offer. So this is more of putting it into a course, into an automated sequence, and making it so that really you could take on as many clients as possible as long as you have that system built out. The problem is most of us jump straight to stage 3, and then we wonder why there's not a ton of lead flow coming into our business because there's no urgency and scarcity. I want you to actually think about it in this way. And this is what really helped me. If you ever took economics in college or economics in high school, what they talk about is that markets have a supply and a demand. Well, the problem with your offer is if you have unlimited supply, the demand is going to be very low for your product or offer because there's so much to buy. There's so much, there's no reason for someone to really buy or hurry, or there's no reason for you to raise your price. So that's what we typically see. And what I work with business owners is actually creating higher demand, where now you have more people wanting to work with you than you can actually help. And that comes from going back to the offer evolution and taking it a little bit slower. Like a lot of times we get impatient as business owners, and the ones that I've seen do the absolute best, they do one step at a time in their business, and they understand that slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And that's ultimately what I'd recommend as the first step. If you want to start generating more leads than you can actually handle, is cap how many clients you can actually take on. So the action step associated with this is go ahead and return to stage 1 or stage 2. Right? Like if you're in stage 3 already, you don't want to go all the way back to stage 1. I understand you can go to stage 2, but I highly recommend going to stage 1, doing a done for you offer, because it's going to create a lot of testimonials and it's going to allow you to work on that skill set and practice what you actually provide as a product or service. But how do we actually generate leads? So like I mentioned, this comes from the book, $100 Million Leads. The reason why I share this and I don't recreate the wheel is because this is the most comprehensive training and also the most simplest framework I've seen when it comes to generating leads in a business and to market. So instead of like, using different frameworks that are extremely complex, because there's definitely things we can dive into in each of these 4 areas. I just wanted to give you guys a big picture and simplify this. And really, I have a story to go with this. Recently, I've been working with an online fitness company. And a few months ago, we were doing everything. Like, we were doing a whole bunch of different types of marketing, and really it was very complicated. And because of my position at that time as a marketing director, I knew that we needed to shift things up and we needed to simplify stuff, because we were doing so much, but it wasn't necessarily moving the needle. So what we did is, over the past few months, is we returned back to the basics. We returned back to these 4 things and even simplified them as much as possible. And what we learned is that less is more when it comes to generating leads. The less that you're doing and the less that you're focusing on and the less that you're basically putting your energy out there in different directions, the more that you're actually going to move the needle as a business owner to be able to generate leads. So there's 4 ways, and only 4 ways, that you can start generating leads. And this is the order that you should start implementing it if you aren't using this. First of all, the first area, or the first way, is to do warm outbound. So this is from individuals that you know, friends, family, acquaintances, past clients, current clients. Warm outreach, and really leveraging those relationships that are already established, and making sure that you have a consistent system of warm outreach. I know that many individuals are missing out on this, because it's even an area that I struggle on, because it takes a lot of time. But once again, when it comes to business, you have one of 2 choices. You can either spend time or spend money. In the place of where I meet and work with most business owners, they're in a place where they don't have as much money. And so, like, paid ads and paying for employees is something that's going to come over time. And if you are in that position, you want to really focus on doubling down on that warm outbound, because it's completely free. You don't have to pay anything to do warm outbound. The second way is content creation. So with content creation, I'm gonna actually give a plug for another marketer, because she's incredible. Her name's Laurel Portier, and she runs a Lean on Laurel program, and even has a $7 per month ads program that teaches you how to do content and how to boost that content with paid ads in a way to generate leads. This is by far some of the best training that I've seen when it comes to content that actually works. Now, for those of you that feel like you got to put out, 2 to 3 reels per day and generate a ton of content, yes, you might have to do that if you're going to rely 100% on just content creation and just organic. But there is another way that requires less time and less effort, but it is going to require a little bit of money. So if you want to spend $2, $3, $5 a day on ads to be able to boost what you're already doing organically, I definitely recommend that you check out her program, because it's one of the best that I've seen. She only posts 3 times per week and has 3 different types of posts, and that's in her entire ecosystem of content creation. But that's the second way that you can begin generating leads. The third way is cold outbound. So cold outbound is, you don't know them, you're reaching out to them, and you're really making your power offer, or reaching out to them and offering what you have to do, or starting to build that relationship. It's my least favorite of the 4 ways to generate leads. So it's the one that I do the least amount. But once again, this is why the conversation of preferences in how you build your business is so important. What I would prefer is that you, as a business owner, figure out what your preferences are and do more of those things, because you can be consistent with them, rather than feeling like you have to do all 4 ways of these types of ways to generate leads and failing on them consistently. So instead of going through all 4, like, what I do is I focus on 1, 2, and 4, and I added in a little bit of cold outbound until I can completely hire a VA to do it and automate that for me, because it's just not something that I enjoy doing. That, once again, goes back to my preferences and how I enjoy doing business, and that leads to long-term commitment to these systems. So that brings us to the 4th and final way, which is paid ads. Now, if you're running ads, or you think that ads is all about sending people to an opt-in page, and then from that opt-in page they go to a VSL or a webinar, then your understanding of ads might be a little bit 2010 or earlier. And what I mean by that is, things have shifted, things have changed, and there's a way better strategy out there that doesn't require you to build out a complicated funnel like that. In reality, how I like to set up ads, and even how I recommend you set up ads, is by leveraging your social media and your content creation that you're already doing. So like I mentioned, that 3-post system that Laurel teaches allows you to just plug paid ads into that. So you're already doing organic, and what it does is it just brings more traction and creates leads of people who are engaging with you in your organic. So it's not really a paid, like how I used to see people split it into 2 different sections when it comes to lead gen. They have like their free methods and they have their paid methods. This is an organic boosted method. So it's really both combined together. And that's why I enjoy it, because once again, if your business is completely reliant on organic, it's hard to scale. And if your business is completely reliant on just paid ads, then you may not have as much security or stability long term. So what I prefer to help business owners do is create a really good organic system and then boost it and scale it using paid ads. And that's the way that I think is the most sustainable and the least risky when it comes to building your business. So the action step associated with these 4 ways to generate leads is to make a plan to start doing all 4 types of lead generation, and really start with, warm outbound content creation, then cold outbound, then paid ads, but then take into consideration what your preferences are and what you can be consistent with long term. Now, this brings us to the 4 ways to multiply your leads. So we have the 4 ways to actually generate leads, but then you do all of that yourself. If you want other people to do it for you, this is the 4 ways to do it. 1, you have referrals. 2, you have employees. 3, you have affiliates and ambassadors. And 4, you have agencies. I am not the best at coaching this, and I believe that people have better frameworks out there for it. So I'm going to point you guys in the right direction. If you want to generate referrals, I can definitely help you, and we'll talk about how to get help there. And don't worry, that's coming here in just a minute. If you want to hire employees and know how to scale with employees, there's a book that I definitely recommend, and you definitely want to get it as soon as possible. And that book is called Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. It's going to talk about what employees to hire, when to hire employees, which employees to hire first, which areas of your business your employees should be working in, what tasks to delegate to them. It's so comprehensive, but it's also so simple at the same time that it's honestly one of the best books that I've read in 2024 or 2023 so far. The third way is your affiliates and ambassadors. Really, when it comes to affiliates and ambassadors, I'm still finding the best individual to help and to train with that and to learn that from. And then lastly is agencies. So those are the 4 ways to multiply your leads, but these 4 ways, they just do what we've already talked about. So they do, and they help with that warm outbound. You have your referrals and your clients who are already clients doing warm outbound, right? If they want to generate more business or get rewarded for sharing what you have to offer, they're going to do warm outbound. They might do content about it. Who knows? They may even do paid ads. And that's ultimately how you multiply your leads, is you start leveraging these 4 different individuals or types of individuals to go and get those leads for you. So the action step associated with this one is, once you've implemented all 4 types of lead gen, make plans to multiply your leads by using all 4 types of leverage. And there's actually a way that I'd go about it once again. So I would start with referrals. That's going to be the easiest to implement into your business. Then I would go to employees. Then I would go into affiliates and ambassadors. And then lastly, I would go to agencies. So you guys, that's really everything that I wanted to cover in today's training. Hopefully you found this training valuable. And if you have, go ahead and hit that heart button, hit that like button, and let other people know it's worth their time to come back and watch this replay. And if you are watching live, put #live down below or #replay if you're watching the replay. But once again, whenever I give trainings or whenever I prepare a training or go into a coaching situation, I'm always focused on what is the behavior that I can invite individuals to take that will lock in this information and lock in, for some of you, this might be new information. For many of you, it's going to be repeat information. And I think that reminds us of an important, valuable lesson throughout our lives. And the lesson is this: it's not about learning so much new stuff. It's about remembering what actually works. And business is actually quite simple, but we try to make it complicated because ultimately we may not feel that we actually deserve a thriving business, or we don't deserve the freedom that can come from a business. So once again, business is simple, and you just have to remember that and keep applying these simple frameworks to see the success that you want to have moving forward. So what are your next steps? Number 1 is return back to your offer evolution, go back to stage 1 or 2, so a done for you or a done with you, and start limiting how many clients you can actually take on and communicate that in your messaging. I promise it's going to help. It's going to drive more interest and more urgency and scarcity to reach out and get information about what you do or how you might be able to help a particular individual. Number 2 is to make plans to do all 4 types of lead generation for your business. Once again, take your preferences into account with this. I'd rather you do 3 of them that you can stay consistent with moving forward, rather than trying to do all 4 and having to restart every other day because you give up or don't like to generate leads the way that you've been told to generate leads. Number 3 is, once you've implemented all 4 ways of generating leads, you can now multiply those leads by using those 4 different areas of lead getters and allowing them to help you in the process of building your business. Now, there is a valuable resource that is associated with this training. If you guys want help with referrals, if you want the exact 4-step system that I actually use and I implement into businesses that I consult with, all you need to do is comment down below this video, referrals, and I have a 4-step training that goes through how to actually consistently generate referrals on a monthly basis for your business, and the 4 things that you need to focus on to do that. And it actually, a lot of it is as simple as some suggestions that you can make throughout the sales process, throughout your coaching program, and then some things that you have when it comes to rewards and giving your referral rewards. So you guys, that is everything that I was planning on sharing for today's training. Go ahead, write down these action steps, make plans to actually move forward with them and get started on implementing this into your business as soon as possible. That being said, you guys, if you want more trainings like this, different topics, also comment down below this video and let me know what you would like us to train on. What different topics would you like me to address? What areas of your business are you trying to optimize currently that I might be able to help you with, or provide different perspective or insight from my experience and from the clients that I'm currently working with? With that being said, you guys, thank you for your time. Thank you for your consideration. And thank you for tuning in to this week's training.